Johannesburg, South Africa, with our leading lady in business, Sibongile Sambo. She's the founder and managing director of SRS Aviation, the first 100% black female-owned aviation company that offers clients professional and personalized flight options to destinations around the world. Now, as you expand, leadership becomes more and more and more important.
Yes.
Right. So how would you define leadership?
Well, for me, leadership is more about me having the vision and being able to communicate to people that I work with, and also set, an example for them. I do also what I expect them to do so that they can learn from what I'm doing and not do something different from what I tell them to do. So for me, basically, that is leadership, and being able to work, with your team, be able to communicate at different levels with them, and also be able to praise them when they've done good and be able to promote them when they need a promotion. For me, that is leadership.
Those are some great characteristics. Is there a particular leader that is well known or not? It doesn't matter, that you look at their characteristics and you say, if I can emulate or be part of that,
Yes.
I'd like to be that. And then who are they and what characteristics do they have?
I would say my mom, she's a leader, because as I was growing up, she's the person who was really next to me and nurturing me, and I saw leadership skills. At that time, I didn't know it's leadership skills for her as a mom. I thought it was just her role, to make sure that I've got food to eat, I go to school, and she directs me when I do something wrong. But in actual fact, when you analyze what a mother does, a mother's role, it's got so many leadership skills. You learn to communicate. If you have parents that cannot communicate with you, then you don't learn the communication skills at a young age. Negotiation skills. I go with her to the shop, she buy this, she negotiate at the market. People, we can take it very light, but actually you learn leadership from a young age at your home environment. Then as I grew and I started working, and I started my business, and being fortunate enough to work with people such as former President Nelson Mandela, for me, I've managed to learn quite a lot within a short period of time. Take, for instance, a picture that I have, with him. Most of the people ask him for the picture, but because I've been serving him, flying him around, he's the one who said, Sibongile, everybody asks me for a picture, and you never ask me for a picture, so let's take a picture. For me, it's like, here's somebody who's noticing potential in this country, and for me, it's like an encouragement that you're doing good. Let's reward you for what you do. And also how he carries himself. He won't make you feel that, he is a great man on board. You even forget that his presence on board, because he's just like everybody else. He communicates, with you in a manner that is respectful. He's humble. He reads a paper and he tells you what he's talking about. He's teaching you. So for me, those are the kind of, leadership skills that I've learned from people that I have surrounded myself with.
What do you think one of the most difficult leadership skills is to maintain over a period of time?
I used to be able to be extremely assertive, but without being rude and firing people. I remember one of the leaders said to me when I had challenges and I needed to fire people, and he asked me, why are you in business? If people are not helping you to, achieve your goal, why are you keeping them? Then if you've never fired anybody, then you're not a leader, So you should be able to take a stand and, make decisions and stand by your decisions. So that particular part, for me, it's been very hard to sustain and be very strict with people.
I'm just going to ask you a few questions as far as the most effective leadership strategies in a few different areas. For instance, what are some leadership strategies you use to motivate your team?
2 years ago, when we were hit by recession and we had to deal with less revenues coming in, obviously that will affect the salaries and wages. So dealing with that issue, it was not an easy one, because initially I had to cut the salaries. We tried different things to bring in business in that particular area of charter, but it was just not happening, because that is what was happening in the industry. And then later on, in motivating them not to lose hope, that if we stick together as a team, let's come up with new ideas. What can we diversify to? Motivating them to stay at that level when the industry was busy, laying off people from work. It was one of the challenging areas to keep them motivated, whereas they see that actually the financials are saying something else. But on the other hand, I'm motivating them that no, still wake up, come to work, do this. Yes, we will cut your salaries, but that's not the end of the day. It's not like you don't have a job at all, at this point in time. But working together, we can be able to beat the recession.
Leadership strategy for increasing profits.
The diversification strategy as well. That has been one of the things. But also changing the marketing strategy. We never really budgeted for marketing purposes, purely because when I started the business, I tried to get some loans and funding, which was difficult to get. One, I was told that my business is in a risky industry. Secondly, I don't have experience in aviation, and thirdly, I don't even have collateral for that matter. So accessing funding was difficult. And with me starting my business with my mom and my aunt's pensions, there are things that, I just couldn't budget for. But I had to find a strategy of still going out there and marketing myself and my business to be able to get business without really paying for that. And because I had started a business in a very male-dominated industry, then I received a lot of calls for interviews, radio interviews, print interview, different kinds of marketing, which I didn't have to pay for. So for me, it was one of the strategies that I had to use to be able to avoid, budgeting for the marketing.
And then, of course, eventually getting exposure, increasing profits at the end of the day.
Yes, definitely.
How to balance your life? Any leadership strategies there?
In balancing my life, I don't know whether to call it leadership, but I guess that comes very natural. It's very important to balance your life. I'm a very athletic person. I know I may look big, but in Africa, that's how we are because of the food we eat, but very athletic. I believe that to be able to run a sound business, you have to be physically fit as well, to be able to think, to be able to deal with stress, So I go to the gym at least 5 times a week. In the morning, normally I don't take appointments before 10 o'clock in the morning, because that's the time I go to the gym. Weekends, I spend time, with family when I'm available. When my son is on holiday and I need to take a business trip abroad, then I bring him along, because I can do business and still be able to take care of him, and spend time with him. I've got friends that I still have to go to parties with. I still party. I love dancing, so I still do that. At the same time, still running a successful business.
Thank you so much for sharing. Well, again, another inspiring interview with a woman that really is a pioneer and a trailblazer in South Africa in the aviation business. So I wish you most success. The sky is the limit, and it truly is. Thank you so much for joining us.